Ooh, once again, welcome back, everybody. On to the third game of this block, and what I actually think is my favorite game of what I submitted of any of these, at least for now. A lot of people are familiar with this game. It's pretty notorious for its difficulty. Those unfamiliar with it, Haunted Castle was intended to be released as like an arcade version of Castlevania. It plays very similar to a Castlevania title, but it's not actually Castlevania, even though it takes part of the lore. So that's confusing enough as it is. We are going to be playing as Simon Belmont, so it's definitely a Castlevania game. But it's also a lot more... How do I put this? It feels much more like an arcade game than probably any other Castlevania I've ever attempted to play. We only have 2 buttons and our wits. And a lot of sub-weapons they're going to be able to abuse. So... this game is really fun. I learned it for Halloween month, and I really enjoyed my time with it. Once he's seeing all 4 versions of the game. This here is going to be the K version for today. Hang on one second. So the K version is, I believe, originally intended as a release for Europe. It is the second hardest version of the game. And for me, the most marathon safe of any of them. I have Once He Seed version M, which is the one that has way broken rules. Like really busted rules. One second. Hey, Outworld, my guy. Good to see you. So we're having some quick issues with the layout. Bear with us. The vigilante of the graveyard. I love that. Okay, so as I was saying, for those that have played this game in the United States, they probably played version M, which was released as a complete quarter eater, and is by far the most difficult version of this game. Which I have one CC'd, but for my playstyle and my experience, it's not marathon safe at all. Do I think I could do it? Absolutely. Do I think I could do it on the fly? Probably not. It took me a lot of practice to get that one. But version K, I do pretty often. So this is the fair version, I guess. But it's still really difficult. Like, just because it's... the way I always tell people is, just because it's easier by comparison doesn't mean that it's easy. A 9 out of 10 is still ridiculously hard. But enough talking. Let's go ahead and play. Show you all this wedding cutscene because somehow a wedding made its way into Castlevania storylines. I'm pretty sure they did this just for arcades. They wanted to make it more ghouls and ghosts, I guess. I don't know. So start on character control. Start off, we have our traditional whip. Whip's fine. It's not great, but we gotta use it at first. We'll get plenty of good melee upgrades as we go. Also, shoutouts to the jams in this game. This game's music is amazing. Wait this out. There's a damage boost there that you can take as a speed strat, but I'd rather maintain the health. Similarly here, I'd rather just make sure this guy's out of the picture. Let that one out too. Do a quick crouch here. I don't think I've seen him act that way before. Let that guy get rained on. Unfortunate that I missed a heart there, but that was some pretty bad luck. That skeleton normally doesn't stop as soon as the screen scrolls, but that time he decided to. The reason that matters is because we missed out on getting a heart. Once the rain starts, any hearts that are still on screen vanish. Get past this wall real quick. Let's move on. Oh yeah, that's how this game gets fed. It eats your money. One disturbing thing as far as feeding goes, this game, while it does have health increases, does not have wall meat, so we're missing out on that. Also a damage boost you can do off this guy, but it requires 3 health, and no thanks. 3 health's a lot in this game when you only have 1 life credits. Don't love that guy being there. That might actually intercept some things. Up here, okay, we're good. So we have our first sub-weapon here, the bomb. Bomb functions very similarly to how Holy Water works in NES Castlevania titles. Causes hit stun on bosses, which we're going to see here in just a moment. Chill out here. This is a pretty decent sweet spot for being able to just whip these bats. I don't have to kill the ones that are going to the right, but I do it just for consistency. It's a rhythm thing. I'm going to wait for Medusa to spawn. Cool, got the lock. that's unfortunate. Similar to NES Castlevania, throwing a sub-weapon is just hold up and press attack. I kind of wish they had included just a separate button for that, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess. I guess that would make the game quite a bit easier. But yeah, just stun lock Medusa with 5 bombs there and you're good. Take out this guy, make sure we duck. Those things do 2 damage, and I don't want to take that. Chillin'. Kill this bat. This top floor is kind of important. We are going to be getting quite a bit here. We already got another sub-weapon in the boomerang, which we're never going to use, but it's important to have because now we have access to more hearts. Anytime you pick up a sub-weapon in this game, it gives you 5 hearts for free, which is really nice. That's unfortunate. That's also unfortunate. Haven't missed that in a while. I don't know what's going on with that. We also upgraded our melee for the first time. Now we have the Morning Star, which is really powerful. Quite a bit more than the whip was. I think it does something like 50% more damage. Also, feel free to enjoy the music while your party is reached. We're just going to be doing some platforming here. This music is grand. We're going to be going a little bit safer here. If I fall, that's game. Like, I will lose a credit for that. Remember, 1 life credits. This game's really mean. And by far, our most important sub-weapon of the game is going to be right here at the top of these stairs, I hope. Yay, missed the jump. There goes the 1cc. I don't think I've ever missed that jump, so first time for everything, I guess. So we'll continue back from here. Cool thing is, I still have the Morning Star, and I had the same number of hearts. Like, I didn't lose anything there. This is weird. This game really isn't that forgiving when it comes to platforming. I will say that much about it. Like, if you miss by even, like, a couple pixels, like, the game is still just going to kill you, as you saw there. But oh well. Take that. Kind of blame that on myself. I think I just got psyched up by that bat. Speaking of bats, here we have the most important bat in the run. This guy has a stopwatch. Stopwatch is insane. By far the most used and abused weapon in the game. What you didn't see there was that I used stopwatch as soon as I got in the cave. And the reason I do that is because if I don't, there's something like 10 to 12 bats that spawn in the cave that are going to attack us, and why would we want that? Just too many enemies I have to deal with at once. These guys are just going to jump. From here, we're just going to be doing some simple platforming. I want to find a way I can jump there. I think a damage boost might be possible, but again, I'd rather maintain the health. Pretend I'm still on 1cc pace, you know. Kill that. Mermen aren't really that big of a deal. They only take 1 hit from the Morning Star. So anyway, on to more stopwatch shenanigans. Go ahead and elbow drop that guy. Here we have the Bone Dragon boss, who's not going to be that for much longer because we stopwatch and we hit him 10 times, and that's the fight. This is why stopwatch is insane. You basically don't have to do 70% of the things in this game that are extraordinarily difficult as long as you have stopwatch. It's pretty ridiculous. Also, for those that have heard this song before, feel free to just drop those sour pleases. That's not good. I don't know how I missed that. They might be coming back. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I figured. All right, now things are being a bit thrown off. I'm actually gonna take a quick damage boost from this thing. That's actually intentional. Gremlins are actually pretty annoying. It's one of the few enemies that are actually harder in this version of the game than they are in version M. Even in the hard version, Gremlins only deal 1 damage. But anyway, that's another stopwatch glitch. Before we vanish away in that portal, if you use stopwatch before you enter the portal, it despawns all the enemies that are going to be on the other side of it. So there's something like 3 or 4 harpies you have to fight there. But if you stopwatch glitch it, they just don't appear. Pure time save. Also, what's the song called again? Dun, da, da, da. Take a quick damage boost here. Don't love the amount of health I have here, I'm not gonna lie. Also all the way up here. May have made a mistake here. Don't know. Okay, cool, that actually worked out. And we despawned a gremlin, nice. Working our way to our boss here. Still don't love the amount of health that I have. But as long as I don't collect the sub-weapon by mistake, we should be fine. All I want is the sword. I'm not walking forward to get that because we need stopwatch for this boss. I was also waiting out this gremlin because I know he appears. So we have a stained glass warrior. I don't know what it's actually called, but that's what I call it. More stopwatchiness. 8 hits with the sword and we're dead. We also now see our next melee upgrade, which is the sword. Sword's really good. It's the highest melee upgrade we have, and it is strictly better than the Morningstar, but they're pretty comparable, I think. All right, so for stage 4, first thing I have to do is just give props to the music. I mean, the whole game has great tunes, but Den of Worship, which is the name of this song, is definitely my favorite. Move on past that. Jump that coffin, because if I try to fight that mummy, then I might get a sub-weapon that I don't want. We still need stopwatch through here. Give me those drums. There we go. Mummies, we kind of just have to wait out. They're kind of annoying. Make sure we get our hearts from them. The second one dropped a 5-piece. This I tend to wait out just because I don't want to have to deal with it. Oh, I didn't know another one was going to spawn, but that's okay. Snag this heart. That actually worked out for us. Quick thing over the water. Don't want these to spawn too low, but that's also my full control there. See, when you jump, they move up. But if you spawn them too low, then they stop moving up. Kill that thing. There we go. Want a neutral jump, take out this Raven. If you stand still there, he doesn't come after you, but if you jump, he does. That was rude. That pattern's not very common, but that's not the first time I've seen that. Want to kill this gremlin because he has a 5-er. Kill that thing. God, this song is amazing. I want this boomerang to go to the top because I don't have to collect it. There we go. Very important that happen. You do not want boomerang. Stopwatch is so important for the boss in this stage. Worst boss in the game, for those unaware. Even with stopwatch, which is like primarily needed, he's still a hassle. We'll go right into these platforms here. Hopefully I get that. Okay, cool. Didn't get trolled by any bats or anything. So what's weird about these platforms is the one on the left, as you can see, moves faster than one on the right, so we have to let it sink a little bit before we try to take it. We found our way to our boss, the giant poo monster. Just look at the color of this guy, and you can probably tell exactly what I think of him. This guy's very random. He's awful. He can throw those fists at me from pretty much any number of varying heights. On the bottom, it's fine because I can jump them. But if he throws them at like a mid-range, you can't jump or duck them, and you're just taking damage, which is just rude as heck. I don't want to move in just yet. This is kind of just a battle of patience, more or less. We want to wait for him to get in this far, and then just kind of go in and do this. Get double stopwatch use to get as many hits as we need, and that'll take care of him. Nice. So you're saying you want them on a sandwich. I can respect that. Alright, this elevator you can actually do damageless, but it's really, really difficult, and I haven't quite learned how to properly do it yet, so I prefer to use an easier strat, which allows me to only take 1 hit and lose 2 health, which isn't that bad, honestly. There we go. Also, this stage, even though we will be losing stopwatch here, this is actually where stopwatch is the most abused. I actually used it as soon as I got off the elevator, because if I didn't, there would be a Raven on every single perch here, in addition to a suit of armor. So I'd rather just not have that. Work my way up, take care of this gremlin. That was unfortunate I took that hit, though. That was mean. Used another one up there. Does prevent more enemies from spawning. My big thing is trying to make sure that I don't spawn any flaming skulls, though I probably will be seeing at least one. Yeah, there's one there. Big surprise. I'm not going to be able to get away from him, but I will make sure I can not spawn more enemies here. Didn't expect the suit of armor to be here. I'm actually amazed I didn't get hit by that. They're really mean. Let that guy get past me. We might be seeing one more flaming skull, though I hope that's definitely not the case. That was weird. So this isn't good. I actually used stopwatch by mistake there, and I didn't want that. I really wanted the cross. I'm gonna take a quick moment to see if I can respawn that. I don't think I came from this guy. That was weird. That's just a hit. Oh, I'll deal with that. So am I just never gonna see it? Yeah, that's not good. I actually don't know what to do here. So by using stopwatch there, prevented a couple of enemies from spawning here in this segment, and one of them has the cross, and you really want the cross for the last 2 bosses of the game, so I actually am not really sure what to do here. I might just take a death. Yeah, I think I'll do that. That's fine. I was already a death down, but I really need that cross. I don't know how to fight, I honestly don't, that was rude. I honestly don't know how to fight either Frank or Dracula without the cross, so that was just an input error. Cost me a life, but I was already not on 1cc pace, so it's fine. There we go. Rude. That's fine. I'm gonna kill this gremlin before anything else happens. Take his heart. Okay. So anyway, here's how the Frank fight's supposed to go. Come in with cross, go to the right side of this door, throw crosses at him. And he pretty much can't fight that. That can actually go faster, but still a really good fight. You just spam the crap out of those and he just can't fight you for the most part. He can do some damage by dropping those ceiling tiles, but those aren't that big of a concern to me. All right, on to our last stage. This is honestly the most boring thing in the game, but it's necessary. We're gonna be crossing this bridge, killing bats the whole way, making sure we can have enough hearts to be able to fight Dracula. There are 2 of these guys that are going to be dropping 5 pieces, and once I've gotten those 2, then I'm just going to take damage boost for the rest of the encounter, because they're faster. The actual speed strat here is that you can time your jumps to where you're going to do a jumping attack on these bats as they appear. I haven't learned that yet because you have to do that a lot, and it's very specific spots in which you have to jump. There's a lot of memorization that goes with it. But in this case, the easier strat is once they get the second 5 piece, I'm just going to take damage boosts all the way to the end. Dracula, I'm not really scared about in terms of damage, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Plus, I think bats here only do 1 damage, which is honestly fine. As you can see, the bridge is going to be chasing us like crazy. I think this is the last 5 here. There we go. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could be so free. Believe it or not, I'm just me. This game is so weird with the collision detection. Like, look at this nonsense. It's like I'm just clawing my way through the bridge. And we're fine. So yeah, 5 damage is about normal. 5 to 6 is what I expect to take before getting here. And as long as you have cross here, I believe there's a stopwatch fight for it, but I haven't really checked into it. But with cross, this fight is not that difficult. Now, in version M it is, because when Dracula touches you, you take 6 damage, and that sucks. Maybe I can one-cycle him? Yo, nice. One-cycle on Dracula is not as common as I would like it to be. So for the second phase, we're just going to throw a bunch of crosses at him. And that'll do it. Ooh, just barely overestimate. I blame that on the extra death I had to take. Not messing that, messing up with that stopwatch input, missing cross at first was not my favorite, but still okay. Yeah, there's the GG. Get the cool little one loop thing where the castle just sinks into the ocean. And then somehow it just gets completely reset. Anyway, thank you so much to GG, Xanto, and Kat, and Nate, and Polly, and Gray, and Slabbity, and Vonnie, and DT, and Outworld, and Sharon, and Mo, and Manticore, and Turbo, Delgado, and Guy, and Fenkill, Dog Developer. Appreciate it, everybody. Yeah, I do love this game. That's unfortunately, my worst marathon run of it so far, but it's also only like my second one. But things happen. Platforming in this game is finicky, to say the least. If I were playing that on one of the Japanese editions, I would have actually recovered from taking either one of those falls because you only lose half health. But to me, honestly, taking the death is actually like better to me than it is to just lose half my health because then hearts have to restore. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me, everybody. Hope y'all enjoyed yourselves. Stick around for Virus playing some more amazing Konami. In this case, Yumi Penguin Monogatari. And stay tuned. We'll see you soon.